accident, qui les représentait? Accident saisit un mot. Accident dit même pas une phrase. Accident existe un mot qui peut un sens. Accident c'est toi pour lui gagner un sens. Accident c'est toi pour lui prendre l'ampleur. Accident fait toi gagner. Accident fait toi souffrir avec beaucoup de douleur. Accident fait toi vivre l'enfer, comment t'en vivre horaire. Mon frère me sert. Sens de manière. Sens de manière. Attends.
Very good morning and welcome to all of you for this event on road safety. Deaths and injuries on the world's roads are a major health concern. Road crashes now cause around 1.3 million. 1.3 million deaths and injure as many as 50 million. 50 million persons globally each year. This deteriorating situation has been recognized, and in 2015, the government decided to make road safety a national priority in Mauritius. In this context, a national road safety strategy was elaborated with the objective of achieving 50% reduction in the number of killed and serious injury crashes by the year 2025. The strategy outlines the actions to be undertaken to improve safety on our roads. In line with this strategy, 10 strategic fields of action have been defined. Firstly, research and development programs, improving safety standards on our road infrastructure, reorganizing the roadworthiness control of vehicles, setting up of an effective communication strategy. Fifth, strengthening the road traffic law and enforcement. 6. New perspectives for delivering road safety education. 7th, re-engineering the driving licensing scheme. 8th, post-crash trauma care and medical fitness to drive. 9th, reducing accident costs and funding of the road safety strategy. And the 10th, setting up of a road safety academy for capacity building. Among the 10 fields of action, the development of the road risk prevention plan and road safety charter have been included in our action plan, with the aim to engage the public and private sectors in road safety. There are two main reasons. Road accidents are the leading cause of work-related deaths across the world, and it creates significant financial burdens for organizations, both the public and private. The Road Safety Charter was signed on the 12th of June 2017 during the Assises sur la sécurité routière, during the visit of Mr. Jean Todt, a special envoy of the United Nations on road safety. As at date, the number of signatories has reached 64. By signing the Road Safety Charter, organizations engage themselves in promoting road safety at work. It also defines the principles aimed at preventing road risks to which employees are exposed, rules to be respected while using vehicles during both professional and commutation time, as well as provides pedestrians with safety instructions. The Charter emphasizes on core principles to be adopted by the government and private sector organizations to cater for the safety of their employees. The project has two broad objectives, namely, to aim zero accidents for all employees of the public and private sector, and secondly, to reduce the direct and indirect costs of accidents. In the private sector, business road safety bureaus, under the aegis of Business Mauritius, is responsible for the implementation of the Charter, while for the public sector, the project is being managed at the level of our ministry, that is the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail. As a first step, designated personnel, both from the public and private sector have been provided with a 3-day capacity building workshop from the 14th to the 16th of May 2018 by a foreign expert on the roadmap for the execution of the Charter. The training has allowed the initial phase of the project to take place in different organizations. To further address the situation of road crashes, appropriate driver training for employees is important, regardless of the type of vehicles being used. The Ministry is currently working on training programs for safety and health officers, as well as for drivers of the public sector. To further promote the Charter, the Ministry is launching the Zero Accident campaign with the objective of reaching out each employee to raise awareness on the risks of accidents on their way home and work. The campaign also aims at inviting the largest number of companies to engage in the Charter and commit to the safety of their employees on roads. 200,000 flyers, 50,000 stickers, and 3,000 posters will be distributed in all private and public companies. The flyer provides information on best practices in road safety. We are also taking this opportunity to launch the Road Safety at Level Crossing campaign, which will educate and sensitize road users, be it pedestrians, cyclists, or motorists, on the safe use of LRV level crossing. The Metro Express project has created new environment, and road users need to adapt and follow new road rules at these intersections. Our lives are in our hands, and it is important to follow rules and proper instructions on roads to avoid accidents. Road safety needs the contribution of everyone, not only the government. On this note, I would like to thank you all for your presence and for making this event successful. Thank you.
My presentation will be on the Road Safety Charter, which is a tool for the road risk prevention plan in organizations. To start with, let's have a glance at the road safety global situation. As you can see, every year 1.35 million people are killed on the roads globally, and more than 50 million are injured or disabled. Road traffic injury is the leading cause of death for people aged between 5 and 29 years old. It is also the 8th leading cause of death for all ages globally, as well as at national level. As can be seen, the statistics for Mauritius is still alarming, with an average of 145 killed every year and more than 700 seriously injured. From this chart, you can deduce that the majority of people killed in Mauritius are from the working age group. The purpose of this campaign that we are going to launch today is zero accident, and the safe system approach proposed by the United Nations in the Decade of Action for Road Safety is most appropriate. Road safety should be tackled using a multi-sectoral approach. Private and public sector organizations have to play a major role in building a road safety culture for Mauritius, particularly in the area of workplace reform. It is good to note that one of the strategic actions under the National Road Safety Strategy 2016-2025 is the implementation of the Road Risk Prevention Plan and the Road Safety Charter in private sector and public sector as well. For a successful implementation of the Road Risk Prevention Plan, it is important to have a system in place to manage health and safety at workplace. Provisions have been made under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 2005 that, first, every employer shall, so far as it is reasonably practicable, ensure the safety, health and welfare at work of all his employees, and also provide information, instruction, training and supervision as is necessary to ensure the safety and health at work of his employees. And it is in context to include road safety at work and also journey from home to work and back for employees. To do so, the Road Safety Charter is most appropriate as a toolkit. The Charter, as has rightly been said by Mr. Syed Jiwant, Director of the TMRSU, reinforces the commitment to road safety at work. It defines the principles to be respected in order to prevent the risk to which employees are exposed on the road. The Road Safety Charter was signed on 12th June 2017 by a first batch of 26 public and private organizations, and as at date, the number of signatories has reached 64. The Road Safety Charter has been revised this year to include new tools for implementation of the road risk prevention plan in organizations. Under the Charter, we have the responsibilities of the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail, with 10 action areas. I'll enumerate 3 of them because it will take a long time to complete the whole thing. So, the Ministry has the responsibility to establish a communication plan to promote road safety activities and the mobilization of professional organizations on road safety issues. Second, to involve ministries, departments and private companies towards the objective of reducing the number and severity of accidents. Third, to provide companies with tools for management of road risk. Like that, we have 10 areas of actions. Now we move to the responsibilities of the employer. Organizations toward employees, which are, first, to encourage teleconferencing for employees by encouraging use of communication tools available to them in order to avoid physical traveling. Second, to sensitize employees with the objective of improving the behavior of motorists on the roads. Third, employees have to empower managers to deal with road risk by A, carrying out an evaluation of the risk of work-related journey, dissemination of information to teams about road hazards. Fourth, to develop road accident prevention plans by adopting, I think it is new, the MS ISO 39001 of 2012 on the road traffic safety management system and ISO 39002 for good practices in implementing commuting safety management. This has been worked out together with the police and various stakeholders at the level of the Mauritius Central Bureau. So we have to adopt that. This will enable organizations to achieve desired results on road safety at works by promoting the use of an iterative plan, do, check and act process elaborated in the standard. Employers have to provide safe and appropriate means of transport for employees while assigning professional missions, and also consider safe mode of transport for the employees for safe journey to and from home. To train, they have to train also and sensitize employees who are most exposed to road hazards. And finally, we have the responsibilities of the employees defined in the Charter. Employees who use a company's vehicle should have these obligations to respect highway code, to respect internal regulation of the organization, to make any payment of fine for road safety offenses committed during work. To conclude, I must say that application of this charter will definitely bring benefits to organizations in terms of productivity, economy, and would reduce road casualties involving employees. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a successful implementation of the charter in your organization, and thank you for your kind attention.
Land Transport and Light Rail, Mr. Raden, Secretary of Public Service, Dr. Kaul, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail. In our midst, the former Secretary of Public Service, Mr. Simone, Mr. Said Jiwan, Director of TMRSU, the CEO of Business Mauritius, Mr. Amkelawan, Mr. Natu, Deputy Director, the CEO of Metro Express, Mr. Butana, senior officials of the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail, college students, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good morning. I am delighted to be in your midst this morning on the occasion of the launching of a Zero Accident Campaign 2020 organized by the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail. Your presence today demonstrates your commitment to the ongoing effort of government in the fight against road accidents, which are often deadly. I would like to highlight that in 2015, the Honorable Prime Minister, Pravin Kumar Jagnat, announced that reducing the number and severity of traffic accidents should be considered as a national priority. Furthermore, paragraph 130 and 131 of Government Program 2020-2024 provides that a safer Mauritius also means better road safety and security, and that government will introduce new educational, sensitization and awareness campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, road safety measures have been put in place to regulate the road users and reduce the incidences of accidents on our roads. It is important to enhance road safety so as to preserve life for citizens through reduction of road-related accidents. I am informed that the number of road traffic accidents registered during the year 2019 was 29,644 against 29,075 in the preceding year, showing an increase of 2%. I am also informed that last year, some 58,267 vehicles, both motor and non-motor, were involved in road accidents as compared to 5,704 in 2018. That is an increase of 2%. Compared to the first semester of 2018, the number of persons who died as a result of road accidents during the same period in 2019 decreased by 24.6%, that is from 69 to 52, out of whom the most vulnerable ones were two-wheelers and pedestrians. It is sad to note that the number of fatal motorcycle accidents is on the rise. After the death of 2 young people who were victims of a road accident at Puerto Pimon on the 27th of September, 2 others died at Bejitongo in the morning of 3rd October. On the same day, a 70-year-old schoolgirl died at Obui in a road accident involving a motorcycle. Only in 1 week, 4 fatal accidents were reported, and 3 of them involved motorcycles where 5 young persons died. But what causes these accidents? Speeding, not adhering with traffic rules, using mobile phone while driving, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, tiredness, stress, driving with loud music leading to lack of focus, especially to the youth, reckless driving, tuning cars, overconfident driving, and overtaking. What can we do? We need to educate through different ways to increase road safety knowledge, behaviors, and habits. More sensibilization campaigns to make people aware of dangers. Start early education, that is, from primary school. Teach them, as from the start, about the potential dangers and how to avoid them. While college students can organize regular campaigns in their respective schools. I strongly believe that other than tough traffic regulation, education is a key factor. Ladies and gentlemen, I would wish to point out that my ministry gave full support to the application of the Road Safety Charter in the public sector, and we are among the first signatories. My ministry will continue to collaborate with the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail in its objectives of instilling a road safety culture and lessening the number of accidents on our roads. I wish to announce an important step will soon be taken with the training of all health and safety officers on accident prevention. The session was due to start last March for the 40 officers in charge of health and safety in the public service. The COVID-19 pandemic has called into question the timing, but not the very principle of training. The civil service will make all arrangements for the training to take place as soon as possible. These officers will then be responsible for determining action plans by sector, profession, or category of personnel in order to improve methods and skills to achieve this zero accident goal. I would like to thank the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail for this laudable initiative of embarking upon a zero accident campaign aiming at increasing public awareness on road safety, facilitating law enforcement, and implementing road safety measures for the benefit of one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zero Accident Campaign being launched today gives a starting shot, and at the same time an accelerator in this ambitious project that the Charter wants to pose, that is, to protect each employee against this scourge which day after day destroy humans' lives and families. We will be setting up health promotion clubs very soon in all ministries and departments, and this will encourage public officers to practice regular physical activity and adopt healthy eating habits. The health promotion clubs would establish a calendar of activities and sensitize public officers about the benefits of regular physical activity, good eating habits, and provide them with regular health and nutrition tips to lead a healthier lifestyle. Classes of Zumba, aerobics, yoga, karate, and meditation will be conducted by trained instructors, and outdoor activities would also be organized. And this will help public officers to be in good health, and this will also help them to stay more focused while driving. Our government is fully committed towards the fight against road accidents and ensure road safety for all road users as well as the public at large. In fact, we need to have a concerted effort to address this issue, and it should not be the business of government only. We have to mobilize all our resources to educate people on the necessity to adopt a road safety culture. It is never too late to start, and the time begins today. Let us all join hands together for a safer Mauritius. To end, I would say, be alert, accident hurt. Prepare and prevent, don't repair and repent. Inpatient on the road could make you a patient in hospital. So, drive safe. Thank you all for your attention.
Avant de commencer mon discours officiel, je voudrais faire ce que je fais maintenant avant d'intervenir officiellement dans des places publiques ou dans des rassemblements officiels. C'est remercier le bon Dieu. Aujourd'hui, c'est un événement officiel organisé par mon ministère, mais réuni dans cette salle toute une panoplie de jeunes, de Mauriciens, fonctionnaires, étudiants, membres du public, dirigeants des ONG, un cross-section de notre population. Nous avons un beau soleil qui illumine notre pays et nous sommes tous en train de marcher librement dans notre pays. Nous avons pu éliminer le coronavirus, le Covid-19. Quelle chance inouïe et quelle reconnaissance nous devrions avoir vis-à-vis le bon Dieu, de n'importe quelle foi que nous appartenons, pour lui dire merci de nous permettre de vivre dans un joli pays, librement, et quand nous rappelons ce qui se passe dans le monde extérieur, au moment où je vous parle, des milliers et des milliers des autres êtres humains sont en train de souffrir à cause de cette pandémie. C'est pourquoi aujourd'hui je suis content d'être avec vous, de pouvoir partager mes commentaires sur le sujet dont nous traitons ce matin, librement. C'est vrai que la loi insiste toujours, préconise toujours que nous devrions porter des masques dans les places publiques. J'ai laissé le mien sur mon siège parce que j'avais à intervenir, mais rendons grâce à l'Éternel pour cette chance inouïe, comme je viens de dire, qu'il nous a donnée pour pouvoir être safe dans un pays qui s'est débarrassé de ce Covid-19. Nous sommes aujourd'hui Covid-safe et Covid-free, grâce aux actions prises par le Premier ministre et le gouvernement, mais aussi grâce au bon Dieu, par n'importe quel nom que nous l'appelons, pour nous avoir permis aujourd'hui d'être des citoyens libres et pouvoir marcher librement dans notre pays. C'est pourquoi, mesdames et messieurs, je salue d'abord mon collègue, Honorable Minister of Public Service, Administrative and Institutional Reforms, le Secretary for Public Service, M. Ragen, mon secrétaire permanent, Dr. Kawal, M. Simonette, ancien SI, M. Raman Kalawan, Chief Executive Officer de Business Mauritius, M. Pradeep Dursan, Chief Operating Officer, M. Moutana, tous ces distingués invités qui sont présents aujourd'hui, Mr. Alain Janou, Mr. Jiwan, Mr. Matou, Mr. Dina, Acting Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP, et tous les invités, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. Donc je vous dis encore une fois bonjour et vous exprimer my pleasure to be with you this morning for the launching of this campaign, the Zero Accident Campaign. I will not repeat what has been said before me. All the speeches that have ably demonstrated how the world today has still to grapple with this problem of road accident, road safety. On vous a cité les chiffres tout à l'heure, 1,3 million de morts par année, presque 20 à 50 millions de blessés à cause des accidents. C'est une situation vraiment alarmante. And many countries like us are still struggling to be able to meet our targets. Because precisely, road traffic accidents are a major public health issue. And this is why our government decided to make our road safety une priorité nationale. Et c'est pourquoi, comme a été si bien dit avant moi, en 2015, le gouvernement avait élaboré this National Road Safety Strategy pour la période 2016 à 2025. Et pour résumer, the objective of this strategy was to achieve 50% reduction in the number of killed and serious injury crashes by the year 2025. Donc, the aim of this national strategy, road safety strategy, était de diminuer le nombre des accidents jusqu'à 2025 par 50%. Et this strategy est venu outline, définir the different actions to be undertaken in order to improve road safety in our country. And Mr. Natu said it before me, il y avait 10 piliers, 10 strategic actions which have been formulated, defined in this strategy. And among these 10 fields of action, this road safety charter, a chart, is the pillar that aims to engage the public and the private sector in road safety. And this for two reasons, as we all know. Firstly, because road accidents are the leading cause of work-related death. Et deuxièmement, road accidents, as we all know, create significant financial burdens. Le coût financier des accidents. So it's a significant financial burden for organizations, be it public or private. So, in the light of these challenges, government rightly so developed this road safety charter pour demander à tous les secteurs to collaborate fully in the national road safety effort for zero accident for all employees when commuting to and from their workplace, which implies that organizations have a duty to cater towards their employees and must take necessary actions to improve work-related road safety. And as I said, the objective of the second road objective of this road safety charter is to reduce the direct and indirect costs associated with road crashes and circulations of vehicles. 2017, donc 3 années déjà, that the charter was signed on 12 juin 2017, when Mr. Jean Todt, Special Envoy of the United Nations on Road Safety, came to our country. Since then, I must say the charter has been supported in the private sector by Business Mauritius, for whom we are very grateful, and this was done through this program called BUROS, meaning Business Road Safety, while in the public sector, my ministry is working in close collaboration with the minister whom you just heard, Mr. Ariel, his ministry, the Minister of Public Service, for the implementation of the project. We have carried out sensitization and training sessions to promote the project and develop the road safety culture in the country. And as at date, the number of signatories for this charter, both public and private sector, has reached 64. This charter aims at sensitizing companies on the problem of accidents because until now, the management of road risk was considered as exclusively the responsibility of the state. And this is perhaps the essence of this charter. Certainly, the public authorities, government, we have a responsibility in securing the transport and the travel system, but we must also keep in mind that economic operators also have a role, a vital role in fact to play, because they represent an important part of the vehicle fleet, and they must also ensure the safety of the employees according to the laws enforced with regard to the health and safety of these employees. Mr. Natu just showed us on the screen a few minutes ago what are the responsibilities imposed by this charter on the employers and the employees. Ladies and gentlemen, this campaign, the Zero Accident campaign, which is being presented to you today, demonstrates, in fact, a will of the state and the private sector against the proliferation of traffic accidents, which is a national priority. We have to work hand in hand, we have to work together to reduce traffic accidents and their consequences, which are not only human, but also economic. Government has taken commitments in this charter, and we must ensure its application. Obviously, taking into account the constraint of the economic and social environment of public and private companies. We will pursue other actions to promote safety on roads, such as training in defensive driving for drivers on the public sector, training for heavy vehicle and on road risk management. In the context of the Zero Accident campaign, as Mr. Jiwan just said earlier on, my ministry is distributing flyers, stickers and posters in all private and public institutions, which provide information on best practices in road safety when commuting to and from the workplace, as well as for professional purposes. After this ceremony, a few of these will be distributed. Ladies and gentlemen, during these past years, many amendments have been brought to the Road Traffic Act for stricter penalties for road traffic offences, such as driving under the influence of alcohol, dangerous driving, driving without a license, among others. I will come in a few minutes to this issue of toughening the laws in order to help us in our campaign of road safety. But the Minister made allusion to this a few minutes ago. During this weekend, we all heard about the death of a child of 2 months during a car accident. In fact, at our last event, which we organized some 2 weeks ago at ShopRite, when we awarded the winners of a film competition which my ministry organized with the Mauritius Film Development Corporation. During my speech on that day, I remember I raised this issue because it has been, we have been very much concerned about this issue since I assumed my role as Minister of Transport. We have already reflected on this issue and we are much concerned about this matter. I'm talking about the protection that should be given to babies and children when traveling in cars. My ministry, in fact, very much concerned about this matter. We have already proposed to come with further amendments in the Road Traffic Act to provide for a child restraint system in motor vehicles for safety of our children. In fact, the decision has already been taken to request the State Law Office to amend our regulations to furthermore protect our children, our babies, when they're traveling in cars. And as we say in Creole, parole qui longue. And in this weekend, during this weekend, we have seen how this baby has died in a road accident. Nevertheless, in the days to come, these regulations protecting babies and children, providing for a child restraint system, will be promulgated to offer more protection to children of tender age and babies while traveling in motor vehicles. Ladies and gentlemen, the current system of the driver licensing scheme in Mauritius, the system of our driver licensing scheme is regulated by the Road Traffic Act. The driver training prescribed under this act are unfortunately inadequate and do not meet the standard of training required as in other countries. And this could have or could be contributing to the increasing number of road crashes involving mainly young drivers. The curriculum is not clearly defined and training is being imparted to learners on the basis of a driving test requirement only. Thus, a proper national standard curriculum needs to be set in line with the standards applicable in advanced countries and in line with the Vienna Convention. Presently, the police driving examiners who carry out driving tests and driving instructors imparting driving lessons to learner drivers, unfortunately, do not receive any formal training. The qualifications process for driving instructors and driving examiners are not well defined under the Road Traffic Act. The course content is also not defined, and the applicant for driving instructor's license do self-learning to pass the test. The examination is conducted by the police through the Mauritius Examination Syndicate based on UK standards and as per the booklet known as Driving Standards Agency, which is a reference followed by the police. It is in this context that my ministry has proposed to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Mauritius Institute of Training and Development, the MITD, for the implementation of a training program for driving instructors who are existing holders of an instructor's license for motor cars. In fact, this decision, that is to sign the MOU with the MITD for the implementation of this training program for driving instructors who are holders of an instructor's license for instructors, this decision was taken by Cabinet a few weeks ago. I come, ladies and gentlemen, to this situation concerning motorcycles and motorcycles in our country. I think we were all shattered and concerned by what happened during this weekend. My colleague just made reference again to the fact that nearly every weekend now, or at least on 2 successive weekends, we have seen young Mauritians being killed in road accidents while driving or while being perhaps the pillion rider on a motorcycle or motorcycle. So following the recent rise in the number of fatal road accidents involving motorcycles and pillion riders, all of us, not only me as minister or my ministry, all of us, we cannot let things go as usual. It cannot be business as usual. You know why? This year, and as at now, as at day, 46 motorcycle riders and passengers have already lost their lives in road accidents, which means that 49%, 49% of the total road accidents is related to motorcycles. Donc 49% de nos morts sont des victimes liées à des accidents involving motocyclettes ou autocyclettes. 49%. The number is 46 riders who have lost their lives, and the number 46 on the total number of those who have passed away involved in fatal road accidents represents 49%. It is indeed a shocking situation. And I have just been told by Mr. Juan, we heard recently that one motorcyclist knocked against another motorcyclist during this weekend, and both of them passed away. And this is the first time that this has taken place. 2 motorcyclists knocking against each other, and both of them dying, passing away. And we can't let things go as usual. And this is why, with a view to curb down these accidents, a special strategy has been mounted, has been put up by the police and by my ministry depuis le 29 septembre de cette année-ci. We are engaging ourselves in a new crusade against the young people, the young riders who are riding motorcycles or other cycles on our roads. Extensive crackdown operations are being carried out by the police. And besides speed checks and alcohol test operations, emphasis is being laid on stopping the motorcycles or the autocycles for the following issues. I repeat, we are targeting mainly autocycles and motorcycles during these crackdowns to check the registration number plates, the driving license details, the insurance vignette, the motor vehicle license, the chassis number, and this is why we have also done the needful, because we are proposing to toughen the penalties for offences relating to non-wearing of protective helmets or the wrong type of helmets, and the high visibility clothing, les gilets fluorescents for these motorcyclists. We are going to toughen the law. Although I personally, I do not believe that every solution to criminality, to a criminal problem, is only just to toughen the law, but I think in the cases of road safety, in the cases of breach or contravening our road traffic regulations or law, sometimes we have no choice. And this is why, in the case of driving under the influence of alcohol, the law has been toughened today, and we can see the results, the progress in the results. because we have no choice, the authorities have no choice at times. The law must be made stricter, the law must be made more severe, must be toughened. So in the case of motorcycles and motorcycles, we are going to increase the penalties for these young drivers who are stopped and who are either not wearing protective helmets or the right protective helmets, because we are going also to improve the legislation, the regulations with regard to the helmets. So non-wearing of protective helmets or non-wearing the gilets fluorescents, the high visibility clothing, also will be, those contravening these regulations will be liable to higher penalties, which we intend to impose in the coming days, because we have already sent the file to the State Law Office. Therefore, the road traffic construction and use regulations will be amended to provide for the stricter penalties for non-conformity of either registration number plate fixed on motor vehicles, motorcycles, and motorcycles. Très souvent, very often what happens is that the riders on the motorcycles or motorcycles do not affix their number plate in front of their motorcycles or motorcycles, and in this case also, or they remove their plates so that they can do speeding, and they will not be captured by the speed camera. So we are going to provide stricter penalties for non-conforming of registration number plate fixed on motor vehicles, motorcycles, and motorcycles. Another thing, my ministry is also presently finalizing the process of registration of electric motorcycles and electric motorcycles, and a cut-off date will be proposed for them to comply. Accordingly, the users of electric motorcycles and electric motorcycles will have to secure a driving license, insure their vehicles, and wear all safety gears as provided under the Road Traffic Act. And from the figures, from the statistic I have, as of this morning, the police has established 100 contraventions with regard to the above mentioned motor vehicle offences since the crackdown. My ministry is also presently working on modalities to increase the actual fines imposed in relation to other automotive offences. It will continue to chart out new strategies to attain the zero accident. Hence, I would appeal and request the collaboration of everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, to end up, on this occasion, besides the Road Safety Charter, we are doing a second initiative. We are taking a second initiative also. In a few minutes, I will be launching the light rail vehicle level crossing campaign. This concerns particularly the metro. The introduction of the light rail in Mauritius has brought forward a new road environment, as we know, to all the road users, which necessitates a new education to the Mauritian population. In this context, my ministry has undertaken a road safety campaign which focuses on the light rail vehicle level crossing safety to inform, educate, and sensitize the population on this particular environment. This campaign highlights the way each category of road users should behave in the environment in order to avoid road crashes. So in a few minutes we will be launching this light rail vehicle level crossing campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, it is noted with concern that the number of deaths on our roads are unfortunately increasing, in spite of all the efforts undertaken by the ministry and the other different organizations. 94% have lost their lives. 94% have lost their lives in road accidents. And Mauritius, we have unfortunately witnessed road-rail accident till date, and recently a motorcyclist died on the spot, and the other one was a car crash. In order to mitigate such incidents, we have resolved to this campaign as drivers, motorcyclists, cyclists, pedestrians, elderly and children come across the new intersection configuration. I'm talking, for example, the Goul at Beaubassin, the Goul intersection, which is new. Some signage, some signs are new, traffic signs are new to our population, and this is why we have to embark. We are embarking on this campaign, and you will see in a few minutes when we launch, when we will be launching it. Because new behavior of road users must be adopted with the introduction of the Metro Léger, of the Metro Express. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Junas, the President of the Society, for the welfare of the deaf and the students who have effortlessly presented such a wonderful performance today. As we are all aware, the Society for the Welfare of the Deaf has consistently endeavored all its effort to fight against exclusion of the hearing impaired, especially the children. The Society has spared no effort in the rehabilitation of the hearing impaired, thus increasing, as and when possible, the services offered to the hearing impaired community in an attempt to alleviate poverty. And because of this, to alleviate poverty also, all the services are provided free of charge to the hearing impaired pupils. And it is with great pleasure that I announce that my ministry will promote the welfare of these students and encourage their inclusiveness in the mainstream society. I am proud to announce that all campaigns related to road safety, which will be conducted by my ministry, will also be carried in the Mauritian Sign Language. Thank you for your attention.
L'autre jour, on fait un rêve que tout le monde tient cette nation, toute nation en communion, ça qu'elle prend une décision pour mettre la joie dans son région. Et ça, c'est une jolie vision. Toute nation, grande nation, toute nation, ensemble dans la même mission. Et ça, c'est une jolie cohabitation. Le pépotage, oration, ça n'a d'une bénédiction. Tout le monde qui vive avec beaucoup de précaution. Que te passer, tu es dans une jolie salutation. Et ça, tu es une vraie nation. Mon rêve cassé.